We're moving on to our last speaker now, and still talking about the universal design, planning, strategies and policies. And this gentleman is all the way from Japan, and it's a comfortable living environment for people with disabilities achievable. And Keiji Kawahara, who's the Executive Director of International Association from Universal Design Japan, is next, and then we go to break for lunch. Thank you.
Okay, good day. Your Highness, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keiji Kawahara from Japan. I'm an Executive Director, International Association for Universal Design, IAUD for short. It is a great honor for me to have a presentation like this here in Dubai. I'd especially like to say many thanks to you all in the Dubai Accessible Tourism International Summit. Now, let me start my presentation because time is so limited and I've got many slides and videos to share with you. At first, I'd like to speak about the first international conference for universal design held in Yokohama, Japan, 2002. Yokohama City is located in the metropolitan area, very close to Tokyo. The conference was a great success with 650 participants and many visitors come to the exhibition. The 2002 International Conference in Yokohama began with the fundraising assistance of His Imperial Highness, Prince Tomohito. Among all the members of the Japanese imperial family, His Highness has the greatest interest in the welfare of disabled people, and he kindly accepted our request to become the patron of the conference, as well as International Association for Universal Design, founded 1 year later. This is a picture of His Imperial Highness Prince Tomohito, known as a Prince with Beard. I'm afraid to tell you that His Highness passed away 7 years ago by cancer. This is words that the Prince used to say. I should say we could not make it without his help and leadership. We Japanese admire and respect our imperial family, probably just same as you would respect your royal family. I think this kind of close relationship between people and the royal family is important and very effective to go forward such a social movement. With His Highness as patron, when we asked domestic industries and the business community to participate during our efforts to enlist members, no one expressed any disagreement. Then more than 100 corporations naturally joined as official members. You can see the big names such as Canon, Fujitsu, Hitachi, Mitsubishi, Panasonic, Sony, Toto, and Toyota. In 2006, IAUD has the second international conference for universal design in Kyoto, an old city in Japan. It was a much bigger event than that of Yokohama in 2002. The conference was again a great success with nearly 15,000 participants and visitors from 29 countries and regions to see the exhibition. This is the overview of the exhibition in Kyoto. You can see famous names such as Fujitsu, Toshiba, Sanyo, Toto over there. This is the scene of the opening ceremony at the 7th International Conference for Universal Design held in Bangkok, Thailand, last March. At the center, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe is giving a video message to all participants. In our international conferences, we always have simultaneous interpretation and simultaneous captioning services at the same time. You can see the Japanese caption displayed in the caption displayed in the left screen, and the English caption is in the upper half of the right screen. Then the Thai language is shown in the lower right. This is because for the deaf or person in hard of hearing who cannot hear the interpretation, and also it is good for even ordinary people to understand technical terms easily. This is the definition that IAUD is using. Universal design is a creation of designs for equipment, buildings, and the immediate living environment that can be used by as many people as possible, regardless of age, gender, race, culture, customs, language, nationality, ability, or disability. In shorter words, we also mention universal design is to create social environment in which the characteristic of each person is respected. Let's talk about our society from the perspective of population. In Japan, demographic aging accelerated from the latter half of the 1980s. According to the government report, the percentage of the population over the age of 65, so-called the aged, has already reached 28% of the total population. Japan is already the super-aged society. The green line shows Japan. This red dot line shows the present time around the year 2020. There are some European nations such as Italy, Spain, or Germany following Japan. During the next 10 years, the demographic aging will accelerate in Italy and Spain or other European nations, then finally reached into the same situation as Japan in 2050. Next, I show you some typical examples for universal design in Japan. Here I show you the official website of JAL, Japan Airline. Recently, they have been very keen to appeal their activities to be justified in universal design, becoming a really leader in universal design. I've never heard of mentioning like this, especially in airline business world. JAL went bankrupt roughly 10 years ago and now been rehabilitated by the government support. Therefore, they are very serious to give good service to the customers. Thinking of universal design is their answer, and they set up 10 principles of JAL universal design. Here is JAL's 10 principles for universal design. 7 in 10 have come from Ron Mace's original 7 principles. And 3 more have been added by JAL: high quality and beautiful, comfortable, sense of security. Yes, I agree. These are also important, especially in the service industry. Imagine you are traveling abroad. When you arrive at an airport, you'd like to transfer or change to a train or metro, then change to a bus to get to final destination. In this situation, you'd always feel transfer problems. As shown in this slide, there are many problems when you change the transportation from one to another. You might feel awkward or irritated because the rules or signs are different between transportation companies, and quite often they are not so well designed to think about real users. So this is a solution from Mitsubishi Electric. This equipment is located just above the train doors. In the right display, it shows the direction and each names of stations in Japanese, English, Chinese, and Korean. Also, it tells you which door will open at the next station or which way you can go to the elevator and exit and so on. In the left display, there are commercial movies provided by sponsor companies. Okay. I better move next slide. Now I show you some example of public building. In IAUD Award 2015, a grand award was given to the interior design of an eye hospital. There are many blind or low vision patients in the eye hospital. Therefore, it is very important to guide them by accessible floor design and lighting system. So the hospital has carefully chosen materials of floor, wall, or ceiling to make use of sounds and echoes effectively informed to the patient or visitors. The floor design and lighting systems help to guide the patient to the place you want to go or to the exit. Signs on the wall have to be clearly visible from far away and easy to understand. Some low vision people can follow ceiling lights to get their destination. Lights are also installed under the handrails, and their blinking pattern indicates the safe direction to evacuate to safer place, especially in emergency situations. Also, lights are installed in stairs to mind your feet. This shows how flashing lights works to tell people the right direction to evacuate in emergency situations. It works when smoke fills. Oops. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Never mind. Oh yeah, it goes. Yeah, it works when smoke fills like this. The flashing lights indicates way to go out. Okay. Well, some music sounds tell you whether you are in front of men's toilet or women's toilet. The sound of men's vocal for men and women's vocal for women's. Can you hear that? Maybe it sounds not effective. Some rescue devices are equipped in this hospital. You might need a rubber boat to evacuate when flooding occurs by heavy rain, hurricane, or even tsunami. Over there, you can see a temporary toilet booth placed on a manhole in streets. This shows preserved foods and bottles of water stored under the sofa for emergency situations. Let's move to another issue. If you go to a restaurant or somewhere you can eat or drink, but you might be afraid of reading menu, whether you can order properly. In many Japanese restaurants, you can see what foods look like by the showcase, like this, before actually enter in. Beautifully displayed foods are actually all fake plastic samples, so you can confirm what you eat beforehand. Also, you have picture menu with some different languages. In this case, you can see Japanese, English, and Thai. If you have got problems such as allergy or religious dietary restriction, you feel so nervous when you can eat or not. An organization named Int'l designed a set of food pictograms, and as shown on screen, and now widely used in Japan. Let's move to another issue. This is an example from Nissan. NV200 Vanet taxi is specially designed for elderly and disabled people. Because of its spacious interior, it is comfortable for all passengers, including wheelchair users. This type of taxi vehicle was launched about 10 years ago in Japan. An electric version of NV200 reverse design taxi by Nissan, and this version was adopted in 2015 as London taxi. The NV200 UD taxi is now working in New York or Barcelona as well. Meanwhile, Toyota introduced their taxi in 2016 and strongly approached to the central government and got the name of Japan Taxi for the Tokyo Olympic and Paralympic 2020 year. Then first model was not pleased by the disabled people because it took 15 minutes to set up the ramp to get in. But now it's reduced to just 3 minutes, improved. This is the newest Shinkansen train introduced a few months ago and will be operated in July 2020, next year. Over the Shinkansen's 50 years history, carrying over 10 billion passengers, there have been no passenger fatalities due to train accidents such as derailment or collisions, despite frequent earthquakes and typhoons. There is an extensive network of Shinkansen serving most major cities of Japan with comfortable, safe, and punctual high-speed services. The spacious multifunctional toilet provides equipment such as ostomate facilities, a diaper changing table, and a chair to accommodate a child. The toilet has an automatic locking mechanism on its door. The multi-purpose room is available as a private space for various purposes, such as nursing a baby and changing clothes. It is available not only for wheelchair users, but also for any passengers in their needs. Well, this is totally new technology. We call it linear motor car. Will be in service in 2027. I'm afraid that it is not in time of International Expo 2025 held in Osaka, but it could somehow contribute for United Nations SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, by the year 2030. Advanced technologies can make us all happy and comfortable, including disabled people, if we could carefully control them. It is our responsibility, also future generations, after all. Thank you so much for your attention.